Celebrities.
Alright, I'm done.
Hey everybody, welcome to CinemaSesh. I'm AJ Hamilton.
And I'm Jay Salahi.
And we saw giant robots fighting giant monsters in the Pacific Rim Uprising!
This is obviously the sequel, as we mentioned, to 2013 Guillermo del Toro directed movie. And this movie is not directed by him because he was too busy winning Oscars.
Yes, with The Shape of Water.
And it's directed by Stephen DeKnight, who's done Daredevil, Spartacus showrunner, I think.
He's a writer, too, for a lot of Joss Whedon's projects, Buffy, Angel, different stuff like that.
Yeah, so he's been around, but this is the first time he's done a feature film.
Yeah.
And, you know, it stars John Boyega from Star Wars.
I
love it. But diving into it, I'm just going to go off the top and say Pacific
please.
Rim
what did
1.
you think?
Well, first I got to go Pacific Rim 1. I love Pacific Rim 1.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the top 7, or well, we can say 10 blockbusters of the decade.
Yeah.
In the terms of craft,
that's high praise, man.
The craft, the filmmaking, the cinematography, the pacing, the structure, everything about it. I love it. I adore it. It's fantastic.
All right.
Minus the lead actor, we can say that doesn't necessarily carry the film truly.
Don't worry, he's not back.
But that's not. Well, it's a little weird. They don't show him or reference him at all.
They say his name once,
but they show everybody else.
Real
and
weird.
Statues of everybody else, but he's not there. But this movie, it was okay. I mean, I guess that's the one thing I can say about it. It looked pretty. The lighting was great.
Yeah.
It's the director of photography is Dan Mendel, who does JJ shit.
Everything.
The Star Trek movies
Star
for
Treks,
JJ.
yes.
The Force Awakens.
John Carter.
We can name a bunch of things, but he's talented.
Absolutely.
And the visual look of it overall was pretty good.
Yeah.
The only thing it was missing that kind of annoyed me was like, where the fuck are the sparks? You know, Pacific Rim 1 has like literally 80% of it is sparks falling. It has so much depth and texture.
Yeah.
And I get that maybe the world's a little bit further on, but it's only 10 years past that.
Supposed
So
to be
they
cleaner,
they
and
would be rebuilding
the technology
and doing
is
stuff.
all better now.
But there was moments that they were doing things. There was like flashes going on because they were fixing things in the background I could hear. And But I want just a little bit of welding, just to harken back a bit. Del Toro talks about where he lights it. And he lights it. He designed the world, and all the set's really dark.
Yeah.
And he's like a depressed world that's been overrun by monsters. But then he's like, and I lit the whole thing with bright colors though to give it this weird contrast.
Oh, it's very much the Blitz is currently happening. You know what I mean? Like during World War II. That's the feel that it has of them. Like everybody has to cower. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think the 10 years that have passed since the first one. I don't like the new world that they've created. I don't like the advances, but it just it takes the roughness out of the whole movie. It doesn't feel like that gritty.
No, it's a Transformers movie.
Yes,
it leans a lot more. I mean, people have been saying that for a while in the trailers, but it really does lean that way. I mean, a lot of people said, the one thing Pacific Rim needed was maybe a daytime battle. And then it's like, okay, so then let's give all daytime battles. And to be honest, like jumping into it before we get into the actor stuff, this movie opens with like 6 shots of Pacific Rim 1, which is like, I don't know, not a great sign if you feel like you need to open with shots of another movie, I feel like.
And it's narrated at like,
oh my god!
Bullet speed.
It is literally. I'm sorry, Stephen Knight comes from TV. Well, the opening and ending of this movie.
Yeah.
This movie. I don't even know if it's a movie. This is a TV show because
feels like
the
second
opening,
episode.
Re-explanation of like, if you haven't seen the movie, don't worry, we're gonna get you caught up on what happened in the first one. Is literally the same way it's done in check out last week episode.
Sure.
Not even done in a movie cinematic way. It is literally last week this happened, and now we're here, and it takes 60 seconds, and he runs through like a 2-hour movie in 60 seconds, but hitting way too many plot points
that nobody could understand because he's talking faster than you.
Yes.
If that's possible.
If you had never seen Pacific Rim 1 when you went to that movie,
it's
that would have
gobbledygook.
made you more confused.
Absolutely.
And I'm guessing it would have turned you off right away.
You're like, wait, there's giant
job.
What and things?
Yeah.
And I mean, they open Pacific Rim originally with Charlie Hunnam, whatever. Doesn't matter. With his narration.
Yeah.
But it's so drawn out and so just impactful for drawing you into the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is not. It's pushing you back away.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up as
But
I mean,
I
I liked
character.
it right after that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
John Boyega, okay, this is his first time really carrying a movie, you could argue.
Yeah.
And I think he does a great job. I really think, and I think he's at Star. Once I saw him in Star Wars, I'm like, he's got something.
Yeah.
And I really think he's great. Other than the comedy stuff, falls flat in this movie. But that is the directing's fault, because the comedy falls flat in this movie all around for everybody.
Yes.
And I think pretty much as I was saying earlier, everyone gives a good performance more or less in this movie when there need to be dramatic and when we need to have blockbustery moments.
Yeah.
But anytime we need to have comedic moments, everyone falls flat. And I don't think it's their fault. It
just doesn't play. A lot of the comedy doesn't play.
There was a moment too that they set up things. This whole movie, I feel like they set up and pay off things don't work. So like the comedy, there's a moment where Jake Pentecost, which is obviously
is
John
Boyega's character.
He's obviously the son of
Idris Elba's
character from the last
first
movie
one,
who saved the world. And he kind of, you get the idea that he dropped out of the Jaeger program. We learn later he got kicked out of the Jaeger program.
He turns into Han Solo.
Yeah, essentially,
like stealing.
So when he comes
things
back, they give him a role, and they're basically teaming him up with his old partner, which is Scott Eastwood.
Yep.
And there's a moment where they tell Finn, or not, fuck, they tell John Boyega that like, oh, you're going back in, you're gonna team up with him.
Yep.
And he says, I cannot wait to see, Scott Eastwood's face.
Yes.
He's gonna feel like this, and this. And as an audience, we're going, oh, now we can't wait to see his face, because you're telling us how excited you are. So now we're excited to see how that interaction goes.
How angry he is.
You just said, I can't wait to see that. So now we want to see how you react to seeing that.
Right.
Or he does that. Doesn't cut to that. It doesn't cut to anything. They give him some setup. It cuts to something like way later. They're in the middle of a training program already. They've gone past like 4 or 5 scenes, and there's I don't understand. Why does that scene even exist then? There's no payoff. There's no reason for it to be there in the first place.
They are the central and antagonistic difficulty that the heroes have. We care about the development of the characters of those two, and it feels like they just gloss right over that.
Well, they don't. The problem is they set up there's 3 main characters, kind of not 3 main characters. There's John Boyega, but they set up the girl, and they set up Scott Eastwood. And John Boyega's plot is usually just like, what character is he attached to? What's he having the arc with? And he has the arc with both of them. Yeah. So it's like the main character has to have 2 side characters, and the movie's not sure who it wants to be number 2 and who it wants to be number 3. Yeah. It constantly keeps switching between that, and in doing so, there's never a full emotional arc for either of them. It gives it both. He has 2 half-ass, reconnections with people, but not a full one, because it has no time to pick. It doesn't pick which one.
And
he
sort of unfolds the realism
with her.
Well, but he unpacks the realization of what he did with Scott Eastwood with Amara. It's like, wait, why are you telling her this when you really should be having this conversation with him? And then they tack on this weird love triangle with the other girl.
I don't think it was a love triangle. I think it was always with Scott Eastwood, and I think it was just a joke he was kind of making.
Fair enough. It was kind of the Wolverine and Cyclops thing with Jean Grey.
As my strong woman intuition, AJ, I think that I think that she was just kissing John Boyega that way to nudge Scott Eastwood, because she's been giving him signals for a while, and now Jake's here and he's his rival, and she wants to piss him off to say, hey, get off your ass, Scott Eastwood. I'm yours. You're sexy. So, and then, John Boyega's playing along.
But there's absolutely no development for her, so that...
Oh, well, no, she's a random... Honestly, she's an extra.
I forgot her name, and I had to look it up. It's Jules.
I don't know anyone's name.
No, I mean, if you can remember any of the Jaeger names...
Gypsy Danger. That's the last movie. Now it's Gypsy Avenger. Right?
Gypsy Avenger.
Yeah. Well, that reminds me. Let's talk about the big thing.
Let's please talk about.
Charlie Day is the villain.
Charlie Day. Oh my God.
Oh, sorry. Before we get to that, this ties into that. Yeah. My biggest complaint, when I was sitting in the movie theater, I literally leaned over to you and said it. Yo, where the fuck are the kaijus? Yeah. I was like looking around. I'm like, oh, Pacific Rim, here we are. Yeah. And then it's like a fucking another Jaeger came out and they started fighting Jaegers. I was like, wait a second.
It was
interesting. I did not pay money to see robots fight robots. It was fine. I was just a little disappointed.
I thought it was interesting. These movies are very streamlined. The whole conceit of this movie is that they've closed in the first one. They closed the the rift.
Yeah.
They're not coming back. Don't worry.
I kind of like that
And
they
then-
kept that. It's not like shitty movie where it's like, oh, the rift reopened
they're
right
back.
away a week
Who the hell
later.
knows why?
So I give them props for trying to do something
yeah,
completely different.
and they did do. They explained all of. There weren't really plot holes.
No.
There was plot laziness, but there were plot holes.
No,
I think.
conveniences.
Yeah,
movies,
yeah, exactly.
Well, like, I mean, the fact that this is little stuff like Charlie Day getting away pisses me off.
Yeah,
and the fact, like, so they basically have a little
'Cause they
tussle,
had already-
and he rounds the corner, and they're in a big building, and then they're like,
which
oh no,
she had completely shut down.
Yeah.
Apparently,
They're like, oh, he got away,
Yeah.
and they never go after him, which is a movie. Fine, they let him get away, but then
Yeah.
in the whole third act, he's standing on a building, like controlling it, and there's no subplot with the other characters who are not in Jaegers
Searching
trying to
for
find
him.
them,
Yeah.
or looking for him, or like, where is he? Is there a drone looking for them? Do they have another Jaeger spotting?
Yeah.
Oh, they got 4 Jaegers. Hey, why don't one of you go get Charlie Day?
Yeah.
And then you go over there, and then one of the 3 Kaiju is protecting Charlie Day, and then
Sure.
it's like, wow, I just made your movie better.
yeah,
I really did.
yeah.
Like,
The fight is. It's just a mess, kind of.
There's no narrative like flow to it, and there's no understanding if we were talking about
Yeah.
like the world building, like
Yeah.
are the buildings full of people or not full of people? Are they murdering
Yeah.
people or not? They're throwing buildings on top of Kaiju, throwing stuff, but in Pacific Rim, there's always in the background you could always hear like evacuating cities earlier
Sure.
before,
Yeah,
or
3
tell
hours
them to get
before
out
something,
or
yeah.
do this. So they had
Yeah.
all these things, and in this movie, the whole point is like, no, now we can make Jaegers deploy.
Yeah.
Right away,
Right.
And Kaiju, but it's like,
you-
okay,
do
but
you
now
remember
your
the-
citizens aren't getting noticed. I don't
Do
know.
you remember the character who was the guy with the slick back hair from the first one? He didn't show back up in this one. I can't remember what his name is.
the guy in the control desk.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved him, and I loved.
Yeah, he would've been
I
great
wanted.
guy to be back.
I wanted to because Byrne. What's his name? Whoever played Gottlieb. He was kind of in that situation.
Okay.
In that place,
Yeah.
but he didn't. He was just lip quivering, hoping that it was going to happen. And there was
Yeah.
the second in command of the Shao industry who was kind of yelling orders and stuff, but that really didn't fill in either. That feeling of helplessness of the person there being like, oh God, I hope this works. I hope I didn't really feel any tension, any stakes. I knew that something was going to save him in the end. Did you?
There wasn't they didn't have the same thrust of story.
Yeah.
And like build up of like
The
the
hopelessness.
incoming doom of what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, they canceled the apocalypse last
Yeah.
time. Well, this time they're building up to like Mount Fuji, but the plan is like, I mean, I get it, but I think it was underexplained actually, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't think we go far enough. I think if you explain a plan that grand,
Yes.
you have to let the villain achieve like step 1 of said plan. Like
Yeah.
they set up like a 3-step plan kind of, and then they kind of stop them before he gets to the first step.
Yeah.
Usually
Yeah.
it's like if he grabs that too, once he grabs that, then he can call the people and come over. But the way they
Right.
set it up is more or less like once he grabs that, then he's able to go here and open this, and then they can do this, and then they come through.
Yeah.
And then they stop him before he's able to do the first task. Like, and then there's no like, oh, he's still alive. Oh, the monster's still fighting. They kind of do a joke moment of that where it's like, oh, and then he's cut in half.
Yeah. Did you like the fact that they combined 3 monsters into one? Was that even raising the stakes at all for you?
I'm completely fine with it if that's not the only 3 monsters you have.
Yeah.
Because then you go from like 3 and it wasn't that big a fight, and then now they're just fighting 1.
Yeah.
Then if there was 5 of them,
Yeah.
and then 3 of them made into one big one, and there was
Sure.
still 2 smaller ones like fighting him off as
Yeah,
he's trying
yeah.
to go his journey. Mm-hmm. Dope.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen. So the movie has no build up in the action set pieces of what to do.
Yeah.
So like in the first one, when they whip out the sword for the first time, you're like, fuck yeah, sword, but it keeps building out a bag of trips. Like as the suspense builds, as they get pushed down, he keeps pulling out more stuff. And this, they felt like they just had everything up front. I have this. And
Yeah.
there was no like surprise, like, yeah, we got that. And there was also no moments of scale. The scale was off in this movie.
Yeah.
In the first film, you get a huge sense of scale. There's so much detail.
Dude.
There's constantly water dripping off people. And
Yeah.
when he holds a
the tanker.
yeah, that's boom.
Oh my
you
God.
know, and then when you see when they're fighting with the storage,
Storage
the storage containers area.
throwing those
throwing
at
that.
them.
And
yeah.
with the lights and everything, the neon, I felt like you were able to get a sense of size more.
Yeah.
And then also another example of like in Kong Skull Island.
Okay.
You know, he takes the big ass tree and he
strips it off.
Strips
Yeah.
it off. Like
Yeah.
those moments. Where is that in this movie? None of that. But the one thing this does have, I want to say before you get the thing, they fucking kill people. Like we see people get thrown
Yeah,
into fucking
yeah.
buildings and people die, and I was
there's-
like, okay, props there.
Okay, so when they are repairing all of the guys for the final battle.
Oh, the montage?
The montage. Let's talk about that.
Montage.
Jesus.
The main theme, the new the music in general was not very good.
Okay.
It didn't feel like there was many layers to it. It felt like there was missing instruments or different, not enough sounds in the timeline or something going on.
It
was more synthy, and the way, the first one got that like rock, and this kept the same theme at some moments, but did it in a much cheesier, poppy kind of version, and I was not digging it at all. And then they tried to do this cool like linking shot visual thing, and it did not work. It felt tonally off. Everything about that scene just did. I looked at you. I was literally had my jaw dropped on the floor because I thought it was like awful for 90 seconds.
And I did just watch Pacific Rim, and so correct me if I'm wrong. There was not that much comedy in it. Would that be correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But the tone in general is fun and light and available for children.
And yes, but
Hannibal Chow's funny, but it's a different type of humor.
Sure. Yeah. It's a bit of an oddity. Rather than jokes.
Yes.
Yeah. Chow's whole setup is the most Guillermo del Toro thing out of these movies.
The visuals and the look of his place.
The monster bottles and shit like that.
Big green. It's like in this wonderful green juice and this big yellow
and his glasses and boots and stuff. But in this one, I felt they made it too kid friendly. Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they were going for.
Yeah,
Uprising.
But the comedy was
sounds like what it does. Sorry, it sounds like a Disney XD show.
Oh my God, you're right. Yes, it absolutely does.
Isn't there like a show called Uprising on XD or something?
I don't know.
Maybe
Probably.
It just sounds like a Disney XD
it really
show.
does. But
Guardians of the Galaxy,
but I think,
Uprising.
Exactly.
Star Wars, Uprising.
It felt like
Iron Man, Sorry.
We can do this all day if you'd like.
Can we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Toy Story, Uprising.
Ooh, I'd watch that one. But I think it undercut so many different points in this movie. They even killed off one of the Jaeger pilots. I mean, I know that they did that in the other one.
But the kid Jaeger pilot.
The kid Jaeger pilot, that was heavy, man. When the other one was like having that breakdown, he was like, oh my God, my partner died. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
It's weird because you don't know the characters that well.
I didn't know any of their names except for Victoria because they said her name was a joke.
Oh, and the Russian girl thing?
That's, Yeah,
Victoria, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was rolling my eyes. It's like I've never seen things more telegraphed in a movie in my life. When she's like walking out, and it's like, oh, she's gonna say something,
right?
And you're gonna do. And I couldn't stand it. It was just so. Every time we cut to those kids, I hated it. It was like low level Ender's Game. Maybe like it reminded me of Independence Day Resurgence when we were with them.
Yes. What it was is that cliche military machismo was painted all over those scenes. There was so much of that was just so standard and so, like you say, telegraphed.
Poor man's Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes. Absolutely.
But when I was talking about, the backstories of people, though, I thought were strong. I guess the story for each individual character I like. Mm-hmm. Like, if you think about, like, what to do with the sequel, like, John Boyega's the idea of his dad, being the guy who saved his life, saved the world
he's
and
the
died
guy who saved the world.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think he's got a good story. And the girl who
He has a great arc.
And the girl who we set up, who kind of gets undercut at the end of the movie, too. I like her back. I mean, it wasn't maybe done the best way, but I thought that was an intense scene, too, and a pretty good backstory for motivation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, Tian, what's the girl's name? Is it
Tianjing? I actually liked her in this, especially going up against Charlie Day.
Yeah.
And when she had sort of an arc that was kind of cool because you see she's very very stoic, very put together, and then at the end she's all sweaty and trying to help out the resistance, I suppose.
I just like everything's so timely.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I always like that about things. Like, I feel like every movie I watch these days is about drones. Like, if you're making a blockbuster, it's about drones.
So very much, yeah.
When everyone controls things from other rooms, I fucking just roll my eyes.
Well, because at that point, there's no... You can send as many fucking drones off as possible.
It means nothing.
It's
just like the end. We're ending up to be Wall-E people, and I know that. But it's just like, I don't know. I just don't like it in anything. And it's a consistent complaint I have in all movies, so I would be... If I didn't say it here, I would be lying against myself. It's not a big deal. Cause it makes more sense here because it's the future.
Yeah.
And it's that. I get it. In general, I thought the movie was just slightly overcut in some ways. We were talking about how you were saying in the beginning. So a lot of shots were missing wide shots and things felt unexplained to me.
Everything felt so close in.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, we're talking about the 3-person Jaeger.
Uh-huh.
They say something in the very beginning, that one's 3-person. But then at the end of the movie, there's 3 people in it. And visually, we don't establish that because there's never a wide shot or a shot that shows 3 of them together in the frame.
It shows like they couldn't fit the wide lens in the room.
It's a set. You tear down a wall.
I know, exactly.
But it's it shows her, the girl we like, right? Yeah. The main, and then it pans to the dude, and you're like, okay, she's in there with him. That's weird. What happened to the Russian girl? And then they cut away, other action happens. Then it cuts to her, and then it pans, and there's the girl on the other side. I'm like, oh, the girl's there.
Yeah.
But we never see them together.
And it's so confusing because they're cutting around. You don't know which group is in. I mean, I think
Jaeger really.
I think they did okay because they would cut inside, outside, inside.
A little bit, yeah. But in the beginning, I just needed a very. I mean, they kind of have them all waiting. But they needed a more simple, look, here we are. I'm in this one. I'm in this one. I'm in this one. I'm in this one.
And with their obsession with the CGI movement of the camera, have them
start out and go in, or in and go out.
In and go out. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, just so you can, or I mean, I know that they were color coordinated a little bit, but still, it was a bit confusing.
Another example of that is when Scott Eastwood gets hurt or stabbed.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
It's not clear. He
got
injured, and it's on his side. But give me a breath. Give me a wide shot.
Sure.
Give me something that I can let me visually know what exactly did something go through him. Is it life threatening? Can he not walk? Why can't he do it? You know what I'm saying? I never got a full understanding of why he has to give up and go there, and how that completes his character arc either.
And when they do the mental handshake or whatever they call it, they're connected. The drift that felt so much more important in the first one. It felt like a hurdle, yes. But once you got over that hurdle, it was fine.
Yeah.
That was the reason why he couldn't continue, is because he was too hurt, but we never realized that he was too distracted by his pain to connect with John Boyega's character again. So I really wanted them to, because they would bleed out of their nose. They changed
the whole thing. They used to have this whole machine they'd have to
I
go.
love
and it was
that
a giant
movement of the
set
machine.
That moved, and it was they were sweating, and now it's
this one. It was like Dance Dance Revolution, for God's sake.
It really fucking was.
Yeah.
It was like Assassin's Creed movie with that fucking thing.
Oh,
on his
yeah,
back,
exactly.
Yeah, it was a disappointing downgrade. I get why they want to give him more movement, and I get why you want the arm, sure. But it was too far.
But the movement where it felt like you were almost lifting the pieces.
Why did you need 2? It looked like you needed 2 not only mentally, but physically. And Guillermo, it's a little shit. It's called filmmaking, people. Guillermo talks about it. Yeah, I don't understand. Do you know the making of the first movie?
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro says,
check it out on the Blu-rays.
It's there. It's not only the mental thing, it's the physical thing you can't do alone.
Yeah.
And where's that? I don't physically see it. They make it all about the mental.
It's so digital. It's so much it really is.
Yeah. And the last thing to complain about before we go into the credits, let's talk about those costumes downgrades.
Oh, dude, I mean, not to compare, but the first ones looked very much like an Iron Man suit.
They were metal. They were everywhere.
They were metal. They were drilled not into them, but they had to bolt them together so that they could interact with the massive machines. The effect of dropping the heads in was super cool in the first one, and they don't really do that in this one. No. They just pop up into them. The places that housed the Jaegers felt bigger in the first one too, and way more in detail. But in these ones, they're like puffy almost. They're not even Power Rangers level.
Yeah.
I don't know. They you know what they reminded me of? Have you seen those things where you go into a wind tunnel, a vertical wind tunnel?
Yeah,
and you just jump out. iFly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
there's one up at City Walk. Yeah. It felt like that.
It
felt like sort of there's a bunch of different little metal pieces.
Yeah, and it's like, why, other than that, just black spandex? Yeah,
didn't really not great. Do it for me.
But this ending.
Yeah. They undercut the hugely stressful last fight where they lose people, where all of their Jaegers get torn apart by having a snowball fight at the end. Yeah.
Awful.
Come on.
Absolutely awful. The opening was awful. This ending is awful. I'm I'm over it, AJ. I fucking can't take it anymore. I'm sorry. People don't know how to fucking make movies anymore. They defeat it. They win. They save the world, the universe.
Yeah.
And then it's like 45 seconds, 60 seconds, yay, playing in the snow, green screen. Like, it looked fine, pretty good. And then at the end of the shot, though, her hair looked awful.
Yes.
The blue around, you could see the big...
The one wide shot?
Yeah, the wide shot did not look good.
No.
But then they're like playing in the snow, and it's like, okay, I'm like thinking, okay, what's the epilogue scene? We still need like a scene or two to decompress.
Some weight.
Yeah.
Let's
it goes,
give the...
boom, Pacific Rim Uprising. And I was like, what the fuck? That's the end of the movie? Because then the title comes up. I was like, this movie doesn't have an epilogue. Like, you don't want a big epilogue, but you want 2-3 minutes, or even a nice extension of that scene.
Put the dude, the cadet kid up on the wall that they had all of the people who sacrificed. Where they put Mako and everybody.
But then it goes to the credit scene, and it says Pacific Rim, which, okay, I have a question. If they put the title up, that means, is the movie over technically when it says Pacific Rim?
I think so.
And then what's next is not credits. No. It goes straight to another scene.
Yeah.
And then after that scene is directed by. What is the last scene of the movie? I feel like if I interviewed 100 people in a theater, you wouldn't get 100 of the exact same answer.
No.
Then you made a shitty fucking ending. You fucking suck. You have one.
Wow.
You have one fucking. The ending suck. You have one fucking job to do. It's make. How do you not?
Wrap it up.
How do you not know what the end? How do the audience not be able to look you in the face and say, "What's the last scene of my movie?" That is, if you can't even answer what the last scene of the movie is, then you did a shitty job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel. Learn how to make fucking movies again. Don't get influenced by Marvel. You don't have a universe. What are you doing?
How would well, they were talking about trying to make this into a universe,
just fucking
spin-offs and weird shit.
It's not even a post-credit scene. If you pick it, that could have been just...
I don't know who watched that and said, "Yep, that makes sense. They just destroyed hundreds of miles of city and shit like that." What? You're playing in the snow,
in a shieldless thing. Nonetheless, they were flying down.
Oh my god!
Hundreds of miles.
Yeah, how did
miles an hour.
God, it can't even be space suits. They're not space suits. They're not supposed to go up in the.
That's why I keep making you more angry with little things.
No. I am very angry on my own. This is a disappointing movie, slightly.
But I was stoned. I had a good time.
I was on board for quite a bit of it. Scores, tell me.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch this movie again. Like, I will not buy the Blu-ray to this. I have one. I love one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a C+. I'm gonna give it a 77.
Yeah. I gotta say, solid C. Solid C. 75.
75. Yeah.
For me. I feel bad because
no, don't feel bad.
No,
don't feel bad at all.
It felt like fluff to me. Sadly,
it's a fluff piece.
Yeah. That's what it is.
It's a filler movie if there's ever been one.
It's really disappointing because they had a lot of... The world was just so full of potential. And what did they do? Disappointing.
Oh, well.
Well...
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Final positive on this movie.
Oh, yes.
They fucking very, very, very... This is why I had to give... Okay, I'm going to say this is the reason I give a C+, not a C. They properly say the title in the movie. Or like Pacific Rim, they're like...
What do you mean?
They remember there's a maelstrom across the Pacific Rim.
They did say that.
And I was like, Yeah. I was like, I don't know. Anytime someone says a title of the movie correctly in a movie, I get like a really big smile.
I don't. Sometimes it's just so forced.
No, that one. Well, it wasn't.
That's true.
You didn't even remember. That's how.
I think now I do.
You're
right. You're right.
That's why it's good.
Because it's just a geographical.
I know.
Point.
I know.
Fair enough. That is a fine positive to have.
The first one didn't say Pacific Rim. That's the one thing this has over. If I could wish anything was in the first one from this movie, literally anything, it would be that line. I just wish someone said Pacific Rim in the first movie.
Fair enough.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of CinemaSesh with Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yes, and don't forget, if you like this podcast /video /whatever the fuck it is, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.
And if you like to follow people on social media, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, all at CinemaSesh.
Yep.
The end.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
You tossers!
Fucking me up, man.
Let's do it. Come on.
All right.
Stop dicking around. As you can see,
God,
I think we can all tell that AJ dicks around the most.
I am the worst. I am so... Pretend like we're looking at a Jaeger. God, it's coming down on it!
The lotion!
It's poison too! Man.
It's so thick, I'm choking. Okay, too far.